Back to Ozarks Fox AM. We're excited to have our friend Julianne from Intrigue Journal here with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
And what a historical morning it's been.
Yes,
I
we've
had
heard.
the best time getting ready watching the launch of the 2020 Rover, appropriately named Perseverance by a 7th grader from Virginia.
Nice.
Yes, it was a contest. NASA chose the name, they said, because it embodied the human spirit of overcoming challenges. Isn't that exactly the mindset we need right now?
We need that right now in everything.
Hey, true, and they had challenges getting it off the ground, but they did it in early, milliseconds early is what they said.
That's
so,
right,
yay.
Julie.
But why the focus on Mars, you know? Is it we need to get out of here, it's an escape route, or I think we have an interest in what's out there besides us, you know, is there a life? And so this is our 5th rover. We've also sent just as many landers, just as many orbiters, and they send back evidence that suggests there might be life on Mars. So for instance, we have a picture known as the face of Mars.
Okay.
This was taken by the Viking 1 in 1976. So it looks like a face, and there are other seemingly ancient archaeological structures that look like pyramids or Aztec. And some people will dispute it, say it's just an optical illusion. There are some ex-NASA scientists who say no, it is in fact the real thing. There's also something that's known as the bright lights of Mars. This was taken by Curiosity, 2014 and 2019. Also discounted as being maybe just a reflection or just an oddity with the camera equipment, but there are some anomalies that cannot be explained. Methane.
Okay.
Methane they see in and around the planet of Mars. Methane is something that's created by life. Okay? And so they see fluctuations, and it's not random, it's patterned. So it's very interesting. They can't explain how it gets there or where it goes. Something to find out.
Yes.
But I think the biggest draw to any other celestial being for us looking for life is water. We follow the water.
For sure.
Which is why we're interested in Enceladus and Europa, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. And with that, let's just go ahead and take a look at the video.
Oh, okay. Got a video.
After a 7-month journey to the red planet, Perseverance will arrive at Jezero Crater, hopefully intact, upright, and successfully dodging sand dunes and boulders. The entry, descent, and landing will take 7 minutes. It involves thrusters upon atmospheric entry, a parachute, followed by a controlled landing of sky crane engines. While past missions required the landing site be free of hazardous slopes and rocks, newly developed navigational technology allows the Mars 2020 rover to land in far more interesting places. Even though the planet is cold and dry now, the landing site was once an ancient lake bed some 3.5 billion years ago. A river cut a canyon through the crater rim and emptied into the lake, creating a fan-shaped delta, a geological feature formed when a river meets a slower moving or still body of water. The delta and the ancient lake bed are promising places to look for evidence of life preserved in mud and sand.
After that 7 minutes of terror, the landing, that's what they call it.
Oh my goodness.
Perseverance will switch her computer from landing mode to surface mode, and it will begin the Martian first day called a Sol 0. So have you ever said the phrase, gee, I wish there were more hours in a day?
Oh, for sure.
Well, if you move to Mars, you'll have an extra 40 minutes. That is a
That's
Sol.
it?
You can get more done.
A Mars year lasts about 2 Earth years, and that's how long the prime mission is going to take. So in this first year, or 2-year Earth years, it's going to explore that bed that you saw in the video, that lake bed, as well as the delta. It's going to move out into the outer rim area, and because they think that there was at one time a hot springs, which would also be a good environment for life.
Right.
So, but what makes this mission so interesting is that Perseverance is not only going to drill samples, core out samples, and put them in test tubes. They plan to send these samples back to Earth.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a prototype. This is the sample, as you can see. It goes into a tube and then it gets into cache, and it'll get placed on the surface somewhere. In a future mission, they'll go back. This will be in unison with the European Space Station. They're going to collect these samples, place them on what's called an ascent lander, and rocket them into orbit. An orbiter will pick them up and bring them back to Earth. So it's amazing. It won't happen probably until about 2031. But when it does, it's going to really pave the way for humans to have round trips to Mars, because it'll be the first launch off of another planet.
That is incredible.
Isn't it amazing?
It's
So this rover is not just looking for ancient microbial life. It's also assessing data, determining challenges, and seeing what we can do, what humans can do on the planet. In doing that, it has a lot of scientific technologies on board, things like a weather station. It also has something known as Sherlock, which has a companion, Watson. They have such cute names for everything.
Yeah, they do.
Which is actually a laser and camera looking again for microbial life. What I find so fascinating is that on that particular instrument, there are these square fabrics that are potential fabrics that they might use for spacesuits at a later time. So they have them on the outside of the rover so that it can test the climate and see how it withstands it.
Great
They're always
idea.
thinking.
Yes, they are.
It took them 5 years just to figure out the best landing site. So
Isn't that
it's
incredible?
amazing. There's also something known as the MOXIE on board, and this is going to take the Martian CO2 and convert it to oxygen. Isn't demonstrating that future explorers can produce their own oxygen for breathing as well as for propellant fuel.
Wow.
Another first ever is in the belly of the rover, carrying it at least, is a helicopter called Ingenuity. And this will be our first flight on another planet. This is, it looks very big, but it's actually just about 1.5 feet by 4 feet. It's only 4 pounds.
Oh, okay.
It has a camera on it, so we're going to learn how to fly on another planet, as well as it's going to probably go ahead and maybe scout out some areas for the rover. What I love about NASA and space is that it's so unifying. And, and they always put their fingerprint, a human fingerprint, on the things that they do. So here there's this plate on the aft crossbeam that has an engraving, I guess you'd call it. There's Earth on the left, Mars on the right, connected by the star that lights us both. And in Morse code in that it says, explore as one.
That's cool.
You see the 3 plates above there? Those are actually silicone chips with the names of 10.9 million people who wanted to travel along with it. If you miss your boarding pass for this excursion, you can get a boarding pass for the next one. Just go to the website on NASA.
And I know you would do it.
And I did. I'm on this one.
You're on this one. Jeremy, you can have my boarding pass.
I'll give mine to Sean Paul.
Well, I want to leave you with one final video because it won't land until February 18th, so we have to wait until then to see what they're going to discover.
Incredible.
But the previous missions have given us so much. There's a video, it's called the Blue Sunset, because on Mars, the sunsets are blue. During the day, the sky will look kind of the pinkish red that we see at sunset, but at night, the sunsets are blue. And so this is a compilation of pictures taken by Opportunity in 2010.
So that's the sun, Julianne?
Yes.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
Wow. Wow. I would be scared to death to fall asleep on that planet. Like if the sun was setting, I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Yes.
It's going to be so much fun.
Julianne, that is
It's
beautiful.
fascinating. Have you always been interested in space?
You know, maybe in the last 2 years, it's really just been an uptick. It all started with music for me.
Really?
There was an artist who wrote a song about the Cassini mission, and I loved it so much. And I went, yeah, it's Sleeping at Last is the moniker he goes under if anybody's interested in checking it out. But I think everybody finds their own gravity assist is what they refer to it, that leads them to be so interested in
Julianne, do you
NASA.
believe though people will be on Mars one day? There will be a mission to Mars?
I
People?
do. I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm just curious your opinion because I have no desire to go. Kelly has no desire to go.
No, I don't.
You know what?
I love Earth.
Can I just stay here?
Yeah.
Can I just stay? But I do love the technology, and I do love the people who have the braveness, the courage to go.
I know, it really is fascinating.
Yeah.
And, this weighs a little over a ton. So they have a lot to figure out before we go as humans, because we have to get equipment there, and that's why they do all the testing that they do to try to figure out what we can do there on our own, you know, making oxygen on our own so we don't have to bring it.
Right.
There's just so much that goes into it. It just blows me away, all of
It
that.
is so cool.
Thank you,
to study the
Julianne.
universe.
I know you're so excited about
Thank you.
today.
Yes, she is.
She was so excited.
I know she was.
All right, lots more fun on Ozarks Fox AM right after this.
Yes,
I knew you were just beaming this morning.